What's going on, guys? Welcome to Alpha Media Podcast, Ep.2. I'm Dave, and I'm here with Ben. Just before we start, I just wanted to quickly announce that the guest supposed to be originally with us, unfortunately couldn't make it due to the personal reasons. We're going to have to obviously delay that podcast. But nonetheless, today we have a good one for you. Over to you, Ben.
So today's podcast is about the laptop lifestyle in 2022, the reality. So what we've done is we've broke down a bit of a blog that we've seen with some pretty decent points, and we're just sort of going to put our spin on it and sort of our point of views off of these blog points. It's sort of a little bit of a question style. Like Dave says, unfortunately, our guest couldn't be with us today. Hopefully we can link up with him in the future on another podcast. But yeah, so that's the topic for today. So you want to start?
To begin, yeah, I'll start. So let's just go as easy as that. So obviously the topic of laptop lifestyle, it's being 2022 now, as we know. A lot changed. I will say this, a lot changed of how people think, what people do. Essentially everything since the 2020, the massive pandemic that has happened. You probably agree with me on that, because it is, one of those sort of big things that sort of, I would imagine, resetted the whole world in a way. So what do you think, in your opinion, is something that is obviously stopping people from moving away from the sort of the old habits that they've got into trying obviously something new?
From my personal opinion, I think a lot of it is down to, I guess, staying in their comfort zones of what they do, or maybe it's not something that appeals to them. Like there's that majority of people that are like love doing physical work or do what they do. And sometimes it's just not having enough information, enough research, and so a lot of time it's confidence. Like for me, that was what the biggest thing was having that confidence and taking that jump and that leap.
Yeah.
To just go out and just do it. What about yourself? What do you think?
To be perfectly honest, a little bit what you have said. Obviously, people sort of being in that sort of comfort zone state. It's comfortable. I've done this for so many years, and it's, why would I change something, if you know what I mean? Because again, in that sort of mindset, and I think we've picked this up on a previous podcast, the first one that we've done, that both us obviously want to break from that, but you say the majority of people still are in those sort of comfort zones, 9 to 5. I'm happy to work for someone else, and I'm happy to sort of live their dream, and from day to day, if you know what I mean, to the day I die kind of thing, but no one is willing to break out of it, and create something new, create something better, isn't it?
Yeah, I think there's people out there that have already decided and do want to do it, but it's just that confidence maybe, or they just need that little tip over the edge, that little thing that just makes them go out and do it. Or some people want to do it, but they don't know where to start and stuff. So if you are one of them people, you want an online business, you don't know where to start, then you've got a link in bio, show you the blueprints and how to start an online business. So just give that a click. You'll see us on a short little video the other side, and we'll talk you through the process.
Yeah, that nicely just ties with our advert that you guys all of you are going to see sort of later on in this podcast. But yeah, what I wanted to sort of touch up on next is, what do you think in your sort of mind the lifestyle is even for? So obviously, again, something totally different. What or who do you think sort of the lifestyle would appeal to?
Well, anyone really. If you have always been like someone who can be quite self-motivated and self-driven and to get stuff done, then that would definitely appeal to those kind of characters and those kind of people. some people have, especially this day and age now, are doing remote working already and remote jobs, but it's still a job. You still work for someone else's dream and someone else's agenda and plan. And it's taking that confidence, or maybe taking what they do in that job already. So if you're a remote social media manager or marketer or whatever, well, you've already got the skill set and the training already. Like, test getting your own clients, going out on your own. So that's one way to jump across.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, not everyone's like built for any one specific type of career, job, lifestyle. Everyone's different. You know, you got to do what you're into and what you enjoy and what you love. So
Yeah, just one thing to touch on that. I think that obviously the lifestyle is sort of made for people who are willing to change, isn't it? Like, are you willing to give that, extra of your day to then, create something better for your future? I think that's also another thing. You need someone who's like willing to obviously go that extra mile. Just like going back to our sort of like careers where we used to work for someone else, or whoever works for someone else, going that extra mile to deliver for that customer, isn't it? So going that extra mile, to deliver that project for yourself, so your life is going to be easier, better, more enjoyable, isn't it?
yeah, definitely compared to anyone, but only you can make that decision for yourself and make that step, sort of thing. So yeah, like, I think for most people, I'd say like 80% of people, a lot of it comes down to confidence. And you probably look at like 10% actually knowing what to do and where to start. Because I know that was kind of, it was those two. For me, it was like getting the confidence first, but then it was like, where do I start? There's so much information on the internet and take a lot of research time.
And also is picking the right information, isn't it? Because it's always about, there's, like you said, a lot of information out there on the internet. Yes, there is. If you Google, YouTube something, there is millions, well, tens and thousands of videos on a particular subject, as and everyone is obviously selling you the good game kind of thing. You do this, you will have this at the end of the day. We've seen it from our sort of ourselves, isn't it? When we was first researching all this, it was, you've seen this. Oh my God, this is so appealing because, within 30 days you can earn $100,000. Things like that were on the internet, are still are on the internet, isn't it? Like, but it's just trying and actually seeing which one actually works and which one is true, which one isn't it?
Yeah, it's a minefield, is the expression, isn't it? Out there on the internet. There's just so much information. But yeah, you just gotta like just do your research and do what you believe in lines with your values and what. Like, that's one thing I'd say. One thing I'd learned in all this is like, don't compromise your own personal values. So if you see a business model and they're selling a particular product or whatever, or a certain way of working, and you don't believe in that, it goes against everything you stand for and that, then don't go for it. Don't go down that route. Go what lines with your morals.
Well, yeah, and also to what you said, obviously, you've got to love the product, you've got to love the lifestyle and the whole thing, isn't it? Like, it's all about loving it and enjoying it because, again, you're not going to be doing something that, 7 days' time, you're going to hate it, or you're not going to have, let's say, a schedule. This is why I want to sort of bring this idea of a schedule. What do you think, obviously, of if you go for that sort of particular, laptop lifestyle? Do you think in your mind, obviously, having a schedule is important or not?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I think with every business model and like even people who work a job and stuff, and you got to have a schedule and have something to work to, or you're just never gonna stay like tasked, sort of managed out. You're not gonna stay like focused and getting stuff done. You got to stick to a schedule. Like, the hardest thing when you're on the laptop lifestyle, work for yourself, is that you're your own boss. Like everyone thinks, oh, that's great, I'm my own boss, but it's harder than actually having a boss getting on at you, because you've got to get on it yourself, which is like the hardest thing, and comes back to what was said in the first podcast is about mindset. Is that, I know for me,
Yeah.
for the personal level myself, is that I'm like the biggest critic. I just get on at myself all the time, and always like mind games saying, have I done enough today? Haven't I done enough? Or even the opposite, knowing like, no, you need to have a break. You've done too much.
Mm-hmm.
You have earned a break. But then you think, no, I'll just do this today and stuff. So it's hard. It's all right work for someone else, another boss. They plan your schedule. They tell you, here's your break time. This is how long you get for break. Everything, all this. It's so much harder on yourself.
This is why, again, it comes to that sort of person, who you are as an individual. Are you able to, obviously, to make that happen? Because, again, going back to that comfort zone again, like you said, a lot of people are willing, okay, well, I can work from this time to that time, have this many breaks, I can be told by my boss what to do. But actually going back even to that whole schedule situation, it's how you plan your day, how you plan your week, how you plan your month, isn't it? It's always, you have to be sort of prepared. You have to be planned for what you need to do, because every single step of building that business needs to be sort of written down, step by step. I need to do this on that day, I need to do this on that day. It's all got sort of like, those are little sort of boxes that you need to tick on that schedule, isn't it? It's very important in my eyes to obviously to have that, and I've learned from sort of my mistakes previously, that not having a solid schedule, it can fail you and derail your project and what you're doing. Even when we started this journey in 2020, when we first obviously talked about it, and obviously we first had a conversation and we started it, obviously from my side of things, and I'll admit to that, I wasn't really scheduled, if you know what I mean. So I was just going kind of with the flow, if you know what I mean. Only with time then I've realized, well, actually, you do need to start having this sort of schedule to ensure that all those bits of the business need to be completed for then to move on to a next thing, to build it and make it bigger and better, if you know what I mean. Or even just to create it, even just to like that finalize, to have the final pieces of the puzzle. You have to schedule stuff to get it done, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think like schedule's probably like a harsh word in a way, really. It's all about routine. Like I've tried every single routine since doing this to try and find the perfect one that works for me. And it's like I've tried like the sleeping in and doing things later and working later, because I've always been like someone who's not really a morning person, getting up, and tried that, and it's like you feel like you're chasing the day. Like, there's a reason when you work for someone, like with some obviously jobs you have like rotas and set hours and changes, late, early, whatever, but most jobs are it's 9 to 5 or early when you're at your freshest, and there in the morning, smash it out and get the work done. And it's the same when you work for yourself. You got to think, like, because what will happen, like, straight away, it sounds to everyone, is that you're like, oh yeah, I'll do it tomorrow, or yeah, I'll just take today off, and it's like, you're like, before you know it, you've took 4 days off. You're up to you're up to like mid to late week, and it's like still got nothing done yet.
Yep. And another week goes by, and another week goes by, and another week goes by, isn't it? You sort of like just chasing the tail, pretty much, isn't it? Like you're not really getting anywhere. Yeah, it is like, it is important. I will say, like, scheduling and the routine. Like your routine is obviously slightly a little bit different to mine. Um, I tend to like. I will say this open on the podcast. I don't have issues of obviously waking up early and starting my day early. I'm used to that. I used to wake up at 4:30 in the mornings and stuff like that back in the day. It's stuck with me, if you know what I mean. So I'm sort of all right with that. And having that sort of like 6 hours of sleep, it's fine. even the man himself, Elon Musk, has got 6 hours of sleep every single night. It seems to be quite productive with that. So I'll stick with Elon on that one, and we'll just stick to 6 hours, to be fair.
You don't share a bed with Elon, do you?
I was going to say no,
Sounds
not
like
thank you,
you
my
do.
man. I think he's got someone else in bed.
Sounds like you're quite close to Elon.
This is why the podcast number one, if you guys obviously listen to us, we did say obviously in terms of the banter, it can get quite obviously, I wouldn't say intense, but quite sort of like bantery in there. So throughout this podcast, there will probably be some banter going on, which is great, entertainment purposes, I suppose,
So, what's your point of view on health and feeling better with a laptop lifestyle and being a onshore sort of solopreneur?
So, in my eyes, how it is, right? So, let me just break this down to you. So, working for someone else, right? You have breaks, you're always sort of going mental, going crazy 100 or 200 miles an hour, because it is true. We both done it, we both agreed to it. It's very hard to obviously bring sort of a routine and healthiness into it, because in our positions, what we were doing, it was really hard because you always have to, obviously, you got a deadline to get something done. There's always something going on, if you know what I mean. So you always sort of pick up the worst food possible. It's cheapest, quickest, the tastiest, as they say. You've picked that up, literally munch it in 5 minutes, and then you go back on a shop floor, go back into the office or whatever, and just crack on with your day, right? The healthy part also, and I will say this, comes with obviously, if we work late, because of many times, and everyone will agree with this on me, you never finish on time. Whatever job you're doing, you never finish on time. Unless you are, I don't know, I can't even think of something that you can be that obviously you finish on time. Maybe a teacher. I have friends who are teachers. They finish on time. They seem to be enjoying it. But there's still a lot of stress, food, eating, and stuff like that. But what I'm trying to get at is, with obviously you then spending a lot more time at work, you don't have the time to actually create and obviously have enough healthy food, if you know what I mean. Yeah, and that's true, isn't it? Because obviously you're running out of time every single day. Yeah. So obviously working for someone else and being healthy.
I've just got his image
really
now
important.
I've just got his image now. What you said, like these really stress eating teachers now. Just got his image now.
Yes, they are. There will be some. I've had some conversations.
It's like stress eating,
just munching on loads of cakes. Oh, quickly,
now.
let's get through to another lesson.
Sorry if there's any teachers listening to this.
Yeah, we do apologise. We're not picking on you at all. But what I was trying to say, obviously, with the laptop lifestyle, I'll quickly go back on this because I'm sort of digressing. What I was trying to get at is, with laptop lifestyle, you can arrange your day, again, going back to that schedule part, when you can actually have a proper meal, have a proper exercise, you can actually live a little bit better, so the quality of life is better. Because not being funny, it takes 21 days to create a habit. You will agree with me on that because we read loads of books, we've seen a lot of things. It takes 21 days, right? For that 21 days, being healthy and stuff like that is really important. Laptop lifestyle gives you that sort of opportunity because you're not on the clock. That's the thing. You're not on the clock, are you? You're not obviously working for someone else. You're working for you, essentially. So you can then manage your time better to then have time to go to the gym, spend an hour in the gym five times a week. Why not? And obviously have the proper meal and have a proper sort of relaxation time so you can just relax and enjoy yourself, isn't it? Do you agree?
Yeah, definitely. I agree. Is that like your health is compromised whenever you work for anyone. I had this conversation a hundred times with it's parents, family, whatever. It's like that saying it where they're like, "Oh, the generation before they were fine and stuff, and that's why all these 70-year-olds still working now, 80-year-olds, and they're strong and lifted." Like, yeah, but they've got like massive health problems and stuff. Like, there is a line. Like, yeah, you can and stuff, and yeah, they still keep going strong. But it's like, do you really want like all these health problems, like knee problems or all these things, like there is a line, isn't there? Like your health is compromised.
Yeah,
At least like with a laptop lifestyle, you're in control of your full health, and you? Like you could either choose to be someone who just sits there on the laptop all the time and just eat, drink what you want, and then you're like, that's like the worst end of the spectrum, like completely jeopardize your health, or have a schedule, have a routine, like we said earlier on, where yeah, I'm gonna hit the gym at X amount of times a week, and that time that day go for an hour. Like, I'm going 10 to 11, whatever, or I'm going
yeah.
after the laptop stuff. I'm going between 5 and 6, whatever, in the evening. But you're like in control of it.
Exactly. And just going back to what you said earlier about those 70 and 80-year-olds, and this is just a disclaimer, we're not picking all those people either. We're not at all. What I was just trying to obviously make out of that point, why are they working still when they're 70 and 80? It's because they obviously haven't come up with a good laptop lifestyle, isn't it? That's what it is, because they're still working for someone else, trying to earn a little bit of cash, so their retirement is a little bit easier on them, isn't it? Again, because if you weren't in that laptop lifestyle, you wouldn't be physically working until you're 70, 80, years old past your retirement age, isn't it? We're living this sort of day and age now where every single thing is going to be more and more harder each year, isn't it? So like the retirement and everything else, if people continue doing what they were doing for years and years and years, you're going to have then, they're not going to be able to retire, isn't it? If we were to continue doing what we were doing to the time that we retire, I can guarantee you the retirement age would go up to at least 75, because now it's currently 67, I think. So with how things is, how the economy is going, how the inflation is going, how everything is going in the world, even with this war going on and everything, it's all got its effect on other countries. So the retirement age is going to be literally 75 at least, when by the time we were to, retire and stuff. So yeah, it's crazy, But again, if you're willing to, give that extra sacrifice, then, your life could be a lot easier.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I think people, it's, what am I going to say? Like, I think it's easy for people to say, oh, I'm not going to the gym today, or I'm not doing this, and like compromise health anyway. So maybe working a physical job or a thingy is good for them because it makes them get steps in, makes them get exercise. Like I know there's that side of the other side of the coin, and the other side of the spectrum is that at least like
It is.
some people who go laptop lifestyle would literally just like fall into that extreme I said earlier on, where they just like do no exercise at all because it'd be like more of an excuse for them, isn't it? Like, just not get
Yeah, and I
motivated to
suppose
do it.
it goes back to that routine side of things, isn't it? What's your routine like, isn't it? Are you again, but not being funny, the people are sort of tend to be motivated and want to have a better life and do something better with their life. They're normally quite well minded, if you know what I mean, as people. So they know obviously like exercising, living healthy and stuff like that. We've seen it. You've seen it on YouTube everywhere. You see those people. They're not really bad, like I'm gonna say this, looking or unhealthy individuals, aren't they? They all work out, they all have time with their families and friends, they're all sort of relaxed. Everything seems to be going fine. You tend to see the difference between the two kinds of people, isn't it? Like you see it, If a person's motivated, even if they have a laptop lifestyle, they will have a healthy living. They'll eat healthy. They'll, do exercise and things like that. I think this is just my opinion.
Yeah. But also like segues into the fifth point from the blog is that by having that schedule and being healthier and like having gaps within your workday, you're not constantly staring at staring at the screen and stuff. It'll boost productivity. So
Yeah,
you're going to
100%.
feel more productive. Like this is one point that took me a while to grasp is that I thought, right, if I hit the work in just one big swoop, just try to get it done, and then just finish for the day, I'll be fine. But what I find is that you slowly start just slowing down, you're losing disfocus and motivation, and it even causes things like headaches and stuff like that. Just look at the screen so long. Like, I think there's like actual set scientific actual times where you should like take breaks and stuff like that. I think it's like you do 90 minutes, then you should take 15 to 20-minute
30-minute break or
or
something.
half an hour break. Yeah, take a set amount of time off and then come back. And
Yeah,
it's the same. If like same when you work for someone, but I guess with most jobs, like some jobs you are, I guess, but with majority of physical jobs, you're not looking at the screen constantly.
no. But I will add to that, obviously, to boost productivity is also to do with the end goal success as well. You will probably agree with me on that, because it's just sort of, with everything that we sort of previously said, in terms of obviously if you're to living healthy, sleep well, eat well, and all this, but also it's the other side of obviously looking at the end goal kind of thing. So the end goal is being financially free. That sort of boosts, in my eyes, I think, productivity as well. Because in your mind, then you're going to be like, right, if I make sure this is done, this is done, this is done, that end goal is closer, and then I can be financially free, isn't it? Like, I don't have to be stuck in my job for 40, 50 years, working for someone else when I'm 70 still. You can have more freedom, isn't it? So I think that obviously sort of kind of in a way boosts your productivity as well, isn't it? Because you're looking at, well, actually, I've created something that's my own, and obviously I'm willing to sacrifice my day, but then again, I just want to get it done. I want to get to that end goal. See what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. So the next point it's on the blog was spending more time with loved ones. So, like, what's your views on that? Like, and what your experience has that changed for you? Have you spent more time since?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to stick by it. Yes, it's obviously sort of changing from the crazy retail lifestyle that we both well and truly know. Obviously to this, yeah, that has obviously created more time. You can see more family, friends. I've managed, funny enough, catch up with friends that I haven't seen for the last sort of 3 or 4 years. To be fair, it was nice to catch up because that individual perhaps was not too busy with his work, and I was as well because working 11, 12 hours a day, weekends most of the time as well. It's hard, isn't it? But with again that laptop lifestyle, yes, you can. It's got two sides of the coin to this. You either, if you schedule yourself, you prepare yourself the right way, you are going to have the time. Because there's also the other second part of thing to that, which is, well, if you work, and you don't know what you literally working on, you're never going to see those people, are you? Because you're constantly going to be, your head's going to be stuck in a laptop. You're going to be away from all them and stuff like that. So it's how you balance it, isn't it? But yes, I will. As a general, the question that you've asked me, I will answer yes. You do tend to have a lot more time with people, your loved ones. You tend to do more stuff, go away on trips and stuff like that. Yes, because of that. Because if you schedule yourself correctly, you're going to have time for all that. What about you? Have you noticed, obviously, stuff sort of being different for you?
I think the biggest change for me is like before I'd never worked a normal job where you got like evenings and weekends really free. Because in retail they expect you to do like hours, mixed rota here, there, and everywhere. So I think like just even still having the weekdays full of getting stuff done and doing laptop stuff, I've had like longer evenings or evenings with family and friends, and like weekends, majority to nearly all the weekends free to spend time with loved ones and family. So I, I think there's a like come to earlier. I think there's like a point and a fine line between like you got to get stuff done. You're like your own boss and stuff, and if you love what you do in the business model anyway, you'll keep pushing and wanting to keep doing it. So you like don't mind like leaving like seeing family or whatever, to go do what you want to do and do your passion and stuff. But like, yeah, if you spend all the time just seeing family, obviously you're not going to get much done, are you? So there is that fine line. It just comes to scheduling and balancing. But you do, like, I fully agree. Definitely spend more time with loved ones.
And they'll appreciate more time that obviously you give them as well, isn't it? Because going back to that point, if you to work for someone else, they don't tend to see you, isn't it? So like with my friend, I haven't seen in ages, family, parents or whatever. They don't. They briefly see you and just ask you how you are and stuff like that, isn't it? But yeah, is a way forward. I think in 2022, I will say that. Just another point, obviously, we're going to say in terms. It's a little bit materialistic, I suppose, but the question of money. So, do you think, obviously, with the laptop lifestyle, it does? Do you think in your mind does it give you the opportunity to obviously to have more money and stuff?
Definitely, 100%. I'd say, because if you work time for money, you've only got a certain amount of time, and so far you can go with that. And you can have set salaries and have all this, but with laptop lifestyle, you can work smart rather than just working hard. So you can have multiple sources of income and use your time more wisely then to get more money, basically. So definitely you get more money from it. What I would say as well is it's fun as well. So you're not just getting like more money from living that lifestyle, you're having fun at the same time as doing it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I personally think, obviously, like you have sort of picked up on that, is yes, you can have more money if you put your mind to it. Absolutely, 110%. You can have, there isn't the amount limit, if you know what I mean. You can essentially, pure sort of basic English, have unlimited amounts of money, isn't it? If you work hard, do what you want to do. If you nail it down specifically, oh yes, the possibilities are crazy with that, isn't it? It's again what we've covered before. It's what are you willing to give to have that, if you know what I mean. But yeah, working for some other company, yeah, we both done it. You'll agree. It's you get set salary, they take tax off you, do this, do that. Retirement sort of planning as well is involved with that. Yeah, you do. And you sort of set, if you know what I mean. You can't really move up unless obviously they'll give you a pay rise, which is what, 2-3% max. The taxman's going to take more of that anyway. You're still going to be in the same boat as you were a couple of years previous to that. So yeah, with the laptop lifestyle, yes, I 100% agree. Is yes, unlimited amounts of money can be made, but you need to put all the effort, hard work, dedicate yourself to have that outcome, because the money doesn't grow on trees. We both know that, yeah? You have to sacrifice something first, the time, to have something in return, which is obviously the money. So that's how it is. It's as pure as that, isn't it? There is nothing else to it. You have to give a bit of time to have something in return, You have to it's all about, first sacrifice, like sort of invest first, but then you get the investment back out of it.
Yeah, definitely. So, misconceptions or sort of the different, so the difference between what is promoted, I guess, about laptop lifestyle and the actual reality. What's your sort of views on that?
So I think I've covered this early. So what I've seen personally is that there is a lot of people who will promote specifically on YouTube for views alone. Because again, you look at YouTube, if you have loads of views, you end up having the ad revenue, isn't it? So if you sell it right to the consumer or the person who's like, for example, us were at the beginning, we tend to click on those sort of videos. So the whole misconception is, oh yeah, you see a video that says, in 30 days you can earn 50 to £100,000 by posting somewhere or whatever. People tend to be like, oh yeah, it's amazing, let's do it and stuff. And then it doesn't work. And then they're all like, oh my God, I've done this. This is all, and I will say that, crap, because a lot of people say that, this is shit, I'm not going to do it. And then just move on to something else. They just get sort of disengaged with it, if you know what I mean. But it's finding that right sort of idea on the internet that actually works for people, that is checked, that has actually made some money for those individuals. Like it, I don't know how to say this, but obviously, yeah, there is two sides of the fold. There are people who are genuine, and there are people who are not genuine. 75% on the internet, it's just clicking for the views, isn't it? There's literally just a little bit of people out there, fair few that actually are, genuine and actually selling you the right sort of idea, the right sort of product, if you know what I mean. What do you think?
Yeah, like I was about to say, I would add to that is that, like, a lot of people like teach old strategies and stuff that's like done its time and past, and that's in any business model and niche or whatever you want to call it. Is teach old strategies, and people try these things, doesn't work, get disheartened, and then they get discouraged. So then they do think, "Oh, forget this," and they switch off to the idea. And because that's the beginning, doesn't it? That's when the confidence is killed. Then they've probably they've just built up the courage to go try to do something, and then they fail at that, and they think, "Oh, this is a load of rubbish," and it's like discouraging. You got to like have tough skin. You got to build up a good resilience to failure, basically.
Yeah,
Like they say, failure is the key to success. You got to be prepared to take a lot of failures before you get even one success.
yeah. I'll agree with you with that 110%. To be fair, it's and there is. I will bring this up from my experience. What I've done is sort of what I've researched is there is a lot of sort of programs out there with people are selling, like you said, with outdated information and outdated ways of doing things. There's a lot out there. I've been a victim of that as well. I've signed up for something which I thought, oh my God, it's going to be the best thing in the world. It's going to be the newest thing in the world, and just ended up being someone saying, I've done this 7 years ago, now it's not working at all. And I will agree with you that there's loads of this, but it's just actually like going through it, and not obviously getting discouraged in the process as well. That's the important bit, isn't it? Like, obviously don't get discouraged from the idea that you want to have that freedom. But obviously, if you see 5-10 videos of something that is not working, is outdated, don't get discouraged. That's the key of all this. Like, you have to continue on. It's a fail, isn't it? Like you described, it's a fail. So you failed once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, but you still continue on going. You'll get somewhere in the end where you need to be, that end goal.
Yeah, I think the best analogy is that, or I guess shows what we're saying there, is that picture, that famous picture of two people digging a tunnel, and the one person at the top is like this far away from hitting gold, hitting success, and they've turned around and started walking back and give up, and then the other person in the tunnel below has reached the gold, or just literally about to reach the gold and hit through. And that's what it is. Like, you don't know how close you are to getting over that tipping point and getting that success. So just don't give up, basically. Don't get discouraged. Just keep going.
Exactly, that's one of those things, isn't it? Like, there is a lot of like, and again, I think I've seen that sometimes online. There is this sort of a picture of what you think the road is to success, and what obviously you are given sort of a thing. So you've got the hoops, you've got this, you've got that. It's how life is, isn't it? Like, it's just one of those things. Either you can do it or you can't do it, kind of thing. And again, it goes with what sort of person you are. Are you enough motivated to actually go for it, plan it, get it done, deliver it, or you're not really, and you're willing just to fail after the first sort of 30 days and go back to where you were, kind of thing?
Yeah, like I think another misconception with making money online is that they make it sound so quick, which it can be quick, but you got to think realistically. Like, promote something or sell something, it's got to take time. There's going to be a essence of time, and how quick or how long is a piece of string? It's always the saying, isn't it? It's like, how quick is it going to be? And I hate it how they have these creators, like you said earlier, YouTube and stuff, that thumbnail all of that is how to make like $30,000 in 7 days, and then we actually like overnight and all this, and you actually dig into it. Yeah, you can make that money, but you've probably got to put up 15 grand to make the other 15, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You've got to invest into ads, or you got to, whether that's with Shopify and selling the product, whether that's with affiliate marketing, what we're into, or anything like that. Usually it's like a paid strategy to get at, but you wouldn't think that when you first click on it, how the video starts off, where you think, oh, can I really make this money without no investment? And this is like another thing I want to come on to. I was going to say earlier and I forgot, is that you can only get so far with free methods and free information. Like YouTube, you'll only get so far. But if you are ready to invest in yourself, even if it's just a little bit of investment, then take that leap. Like, I spent the price of a cup of coffee or a few cups of coffee to take the leap onto the next stage. That's how ridiculous it is. I didn't have to take a lot of investment. It's definitely more than affordable, but a lot of people won't even do that. They'll just stay to YouTube and free, or blogs or internet and free. You only get so far. You've got to be prepared to have like a mentor, potentially, like investing yourself.
Yeah, I will kind of agree with you on that. It is like the free method goes to a point, isn't it? So like with what and I will obviously spin a bit of on the advert and what we are actually here to do. If you invest a little bit of money, if you go and follow the step-by-step processes, and if you're willing to invest that time, the outcome is going to be positive. You are going to get somewhere with it. Again, YouTube will sell it to you. Yeah, like, I'll go back to what I said. In 7 days, I'll become a overnight success within 24 hours. That doesn't exist. That doesn't work unless you're willing to invest the money, like you said. But then 80% of people in the world, and I will say this openly, they don't have that kind of cash to invest at first, isn't it? Like, if you want to invest, 5, 10, 15 grand to go and spend it on ads, a lot of people don't have that. They might have 100, 200 that they can spend maybe, but and again, they're a bit hesitant. Am I going to sell it? If I'm going to buy this, am I going to get something out of it? If I'm just going to lose it, it's always those thoughts in your mind, isn't it? But if you have a solid product, solid sort of course that can obviously teach you the right things, then you are going to be successful, isn't it? Just invest a little bit of money. And it's a proven thing, isn't it? Like the thing that we're doing, it was proven. There's so many success stories that actually, if you invest a little bit of money and the time and you're willing to give it, you will have a great outcome out of it, which is, being financially free at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. You'll be prepared to invest in yourself.
Absolutely. Just like, and we're going to put this point on, invest in t-shirts, because I will say this, we both, and we've never scripted this, we never spoken to anyone about this, we both are wearing black t-shirts, guys, so we do apologize for this, that we look kind of the same, but it just happened. We just appeared on this podcast, and I'm wearing black, and he's wearing black. Apologies in advance for that, guys.
It segues nicely into next point on the blog, which I thought was a bit random and pretty funny, is the freedom to wear what you want, like to a point. So I think, yeah, true. You can wear what you want. Obviously, you work for yourself. You can wear what you want. But I think I like something I saw quite early on, which stuck with me, and I really liked, is that a lot of sort of millionaires and billionaires take this approach: is that why would you think every day about what am I going to wear the next day, and take that sort of extra brain power with all the little tasks in your day when you need your brain power for like bigger and better things. Like, I know that they buy the same t-shirt multiple times, same trousers, pressed, ironed, hang them up, and they got like 2 weeks worth or whatever, or 7 days, whatever, of the same looking outfit. So that's why we used to see them on like TV, YouTube, whatever, podcasts and stuff. They're like always wearing the same clothes all the time, and I've noticed that's what's happened to me without even really thinking about it. It's always like black t-shirt, black t-shirt, black t-shirt all the time.
And to be fair, it's quite clean, quite easy kind of thing, isn't it? Like, there isn't a lot of thought into this. Like, black t-shirts, jeans, trainers, off you go kind of thing, to do bigger and better kind of thing. But again, just a disclaimer, we both didn't go and we didn't buy this in the same store at all. Mine is a bit different cut to what his is. He's got the V-neck, I got the round one, just so we got this obviously off the air so everyone is aware. But yeah, in terms of obviously going back to the point that we're saying, it is obviously a lot easier using less brain power if you're just going to put something easy, simple as that, got it in the wardrobe and stuff like that. I personally chucked a lot of things out that I didn't need, that I wasn't wearing. I've just gone simple and easy. Again, takes less time in the morning, and that brain power, those muscles in the brain over there, they need to be used for something else. I will say that.
So, good point for point number 10, learning new skills. So, what skills would you say that you've specifically learned just on your entrepreneurial journey and laptop lifestyle that you'd never learned from an employment or a job sort of skill base? Because obviously there'll be a lot of things very similar, but there's got to be like some that are completely skill sets that obviously you've never learned before.
Well, working for a corporate company, I think a lot of times it's hard to think for yourself because you're given set guidelines and things that you're supposed to think. But I think obviously with this journey that we're on and how we are obviously as individuals, as obviously business partners, we need to do a lot of thinking on our own and do the right sort of thinking. I think the skill that you learn is obviously be more sort of independent in terms of how you think and how you go about stuff, how you achieve things. That's one skill. Another skill is a lot of computer stuff. So again, when you work in retail, you learn certain set of skills using the PC, laptop, or whatever, and that's it. If you ask me 5, 7 years ago, what is a funnel? I would probably think, is it something you use in the kitchen? If you know what I mean? Now it's totally different, isn't it? But again, it goes to that, you're learning new skills, funnel, bridge pages, even create a website, create your own sort of drop shipping business, Shopify, whatever, using different sort of programs and stuff like that. Those are the sort of the new skills. While obviously being on this journey that I personally sort of, learned. Like, if I ended up working for a corporate company, you never sort of touch those things, if you know what I mean, throughout your journey, because you don't have to, isn't it? So for me, yeah, those are the sort of the things, learning how to do things, think independently and stuff like that. What about yourself?
I think really, to put it simply, is that I guess it depends what you got involved with or to what level with whatever line of work or company you work with depends what skills you'll get or not get. So I never really had any involvement with marketing, and now 90% to 100% of my role is, or my responsibility is, to deal with marketing on a daily basis. And it's like the amount of new skills that come with that. But obviously, if someone's come from a marketing background, that ain't going to be a new set of skills for them. So for me, that was new sets, along with loads of behavioural set of skills, like some of those we've touched in through this podcast. So being able to be your own boss, manage yourself to a routine and schedule. These are all sets of skills that you pick up and learn. As well as, like you said, you'd said to me before we started this journey, what's a funnel? The same. That's something you use in the kitchen or you use to put on the end of your petrol tank to funnel some fuel into your car. But no, like sales funnels, websites.
Yeah.
So building them and using them and marketing them.
Yeah. Now, sort of, I'll say it. So do you think when you're obviously on that sort of journey, being your own boss and obviously doing that laptop sort of lifestyle, do you think you're sort of more engaged and less stressed in the whole process of doing things, or no? It's totally the other way around sort of thing. You're sort of more stressed and less engaged. What do you think?
I think and you'll vouch for me on this because you were obviously there through the whole journey, is that I think when I first started, I was very stressed and engaged. Like, for those who don't know or saw like the story or the first podcast, is I didn't touch too much on this, but I did mention is that through COVID times and stuff like that, I lost like everything, lost like my car, lost my place of living and stuff like that. So, and I was still going through this journey as well as having to deal with all of that, like physically and emotionally and stuff. And yeah, so stress was very high. So, but now, like, overcome that, and it's the other side of it. It's the stress is nowhere near what it would be in a regular sort of job role or a job, like, because got the right business model, I believe, got the schedule, the routine locked down, got the mindset in the right place, all these things. But I think you have to go through these ups and downs and these moments in life and these things to learn and prepare you for obviously the future and to get you ready for it. So losing, I know now, and I'm the other side of it, but I know losing all of that stuff was meant to happen. It's meant to happen. So
yeah,
I know, like your journey, your experience, this is the funny thing, even though we're business partners together, we're managing the same business and the same thing we're on, we've both had a fully different experience to all of this. So your story is completely different to mine, like what you've gone through.
And going back to sort of the previous podcast, a lot of that's been said, but in terms of the engagement and being stressed, I will say there's hell of a stress, because the first thing is, when you're a newbie at this sort of independent laptop lifestyle, it's really hard to judge what's good, what isn't. So a lot of decision making, yes, you are stressed potentially a lot about, because A, you've got a deadline to achieve, B, you've got this that you've literally just learned, and you think like, oh my God, is that good, is that bad, or whatever. Oh yeah, so the stress comes with the territory. It does for the first at least few months. You have to, I will say this, you do have to be prepared to be stressed, because that just comes with the job, if you know what I mean. But yeah, my story is different. Like, I've lost things as well, like the job when COVID happened. That was one of those things that sort of like happened. I just felt like I literally a number to a company. We don't care about you. Off you go, kind of thing. Whatever, we're not really interested in you, kind of thing. That is that. Go again. Relationships, when you feel down and stuff like that, relationship suffers and stuff. So yeah, those are sort of my bits of my how I went and how difficult it was for me. But yeah, definitely going back to the point that we just discussed. You are less stressed with being prepared, scheduling yourself, having that routine. Yes, you are, but at the beginning, oh my god, it's mental. You will be stressed, and I will say that to anyone who wants to start, be prepared to be stressed.
Yeah, but it's not for like ever in a long time. Like, I don't want to put anyone off.
No.
It's
Oh yeah, we don't want to put anyone off. It's for a short period of time, but obviously with the decision making being an independent person, yeah, oh yeah, you are going to be stressed. There's going to be stressful times when you're like, have I done this correctly? Has that decision been made right? Yeah, you are. But it's not. It's definitely not about permanent. 100%. You tend to sort of like your mind be put at ease because everything again with that routine goes well, isn't it? That's what it's all about, isn't it? For what we said at the beginning, it's about the routine.
And now, quick break for adverts.
I'd say it's an opportunity to talk about what we're about here at Alpha Media. We inspire others to start an online business, give them the blueprints, show them the way to start making their first commission online, escape the 9 to 5. We should have a link listed somewhere, either around or beneath this video in the description. If you click on that link, you'll go through to a web page. On that web page, there'll be a video with myself or Dave talking through what those sort of next steps look like and through that process. Apart from that, thank you for taking the time to watch our content and enjoy the rest of the podcast.
So, just to obviously spin the conversation a little bit, what do you think the distractions are in terms of obviously having the sort of the laptop lifestyle and obviously how things are and how they go and how they can obviously evolve? What do you think the distractions might be?
I think, to be fair, this is my favourite point off the blog, and like a real sort of, I'd say this point is like above everything else on this list, is that you're gonna get your own individual distractions in your own situation when you start working for yourself or laptop lifestyle. Is that I know from my experience, it first started off, oh yeah, you're at home, you've got your TV or you're on your laptop, so you start watching. I'll say it's research, or you say to yourself, convince yourself it's research. You're like on YouTube, before you know it, you've flicked from like a marketing or affiliate marketing or whatever, or online business video over to something you'd watch in your personal time, kind of a video. And so there's a distraction. But then, like, for me, I've had like family coming round, knocking on the door, people visiting, knocking on the door, and all these distractions are, oh, neighbour, oh, are you free just to help me to do this? Obviously, you want to be nice and do the right thing, just go help them and stuff. And before you know it, you've like lost a few hours or half your day. It's like there's distractions everywhere. In everything.
Oh yeah,
You've got to be so disciplined in your own way to not get so easily distracted.
Yeah, and obviously going back to the point, obviously because we're in this online space, isn't it? It's like you said, it is quite easy to get distracted because you will go and watch a video. You're supposed to be researching something, but you come across your favorite YouTuber, for example, that has posted another amazing video, and you tend to I'm just going to spend 10 minutes watching that. The video's 20 minutes. You watch the whole 20 minutes, then you go to another one, then you go to another one, then you go to another one. I think from my side of things, distraction is the online world. It's massive. It's anything from the shopping online, to YouTube videos, to anything. Even, and I will add this, dating, just to see who's single in your area. You spend hours just
It's
flicking through
always on
that,
about
left
dating,
and right.
guys. It's always on about the dating.
It's just what it is. That's how I kill time sometimes. You're sort of bored there, and you look at it, just flick left and right, see which one is the right goal. It's one of those things.
Gets distracted by the chicas all the time.
Yeah, sometimes if they're worthy of it, I suppose I can waste a bit of time on them. Yeah, that's true.
So, traveling the world and freedom is gained from the laptop lifestyle and going to see new places.
Yep.
What's your views on this?
So again, going back to that corporate life, back in the day, you were entitled to 28 days holiday and 5 days bank holiday, which equates to if you're good at maths, you'll know that in your mind, but it's 33 altogether. So what you're saying to me, obviously, back in a corporate life, you're only allowed to have 33 holiday days plus your days off, yada, yada, yada. With laptop lifestyle, it's slightly a bit different because, again, you're working for yourself. It is more freedom. Essentially, it's more freedom. If you want to go for a little trip away here or there or whatever and still work on your laptop, you can. You have that freedom. This is what it's all about, isn't it? You can travel the world. You can be doing what we're doing from Dubai, Bali, Japan, anywhere in the world and still earn money to then continue that lifestyle and travel to another country to visit. Well, essentially what you want to do with life, isn't it? Like you want to travel, visit the world and see those places that, you only sort of manage to sort of watch it on a Discovery Channel or whatever, or MTV or, again, YouTube, Yeah, 100%. When you're on that sort of laptop lifestyle, you can travel the world 1,000,000%. Everyone will tell you that. But it won't happen suddenly. It will take a bit of time. Like, again, you have to get the stuff right. You have to create the right thing. You have to work a little bit harder for that to happen. If you know what I mean, you have to have all the blocks in place for you then to travel. Essentially, isn't it? What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think you've put it nicely. To be fair, is that I think you get to just is what it says in it. Is you get to work remotely and be anywhere as long as you've got a laptop and internet connection. You can work from anywhere, so you start incorporating more life into your workaday, even like from the beginning. If I didn't feel I was being productive, and this comes back to the other points, is because I'd been working at home most that week, I'd mix it up. I'd just go down the coffee shop or go somewhere else, even if in your local town, or sit in the park, or go somewhere, or down the beach if you can get signal, and work from your laptop, just to mix up that. It's like your environment and your thing. Like sometimes I could be just as productive or more productive in a open environment as at home. Sometimes, and you think, well, that's bizarre because surely you've got more distractions. Well, there's distractions there, but like sometimes I think you could be your worst enemy. Sometimes just being stuck at home, just like trying to get stuff done because you like find ways to like peel off and just like, oh, I'll do that tomorrow. Just like find distractions, don't you? I guess in a way.
Yeah. I suppose, again, being stuck at home all this time is sort of just like, the motivation level drops as well. Because if you sort of sitting in the same place for, let's say, 10 hours on your laptop, I think that motivation is sort of drops completely because you constantly just look at the same thing over and over again. So yeah, just going back to that sort of the motivational piece and what I sort of previously said, do you think in your mind motivation is a key and is important to this whole sort of laptop lifestyle?
Yeah, like, I agree. Like motivation is important. But what I would say is that it's sort of a summary of like all the things that we've sort of spoke about through all these points off the blog, is that you can feel motivated through changing your environment. You can feel motivated through setting a schedule, a routine, and motivation. Ideally, you want to get to a place, and this is where I feel I've got to, is that you feel motivated because you really enjoy, love what you're doing. So it comes within, so you don't need to rely on external motivation. Like, you could be there all day feeling a bit sluggish. I don't really want to do this bit of work tonight, or record this video, or this thing, and then when it comes to it, you actually like buzz in to do it, and you just do it and have a laugh with it. So I think that's the key, is that you need to get to a place where you don't need to rely on external motivation, but through, like I said, in summary, through this breaking down these points from the blog, is that by using these little tips and tricks and trying out all these things, you can improve yourself productively and in a motivational standpoint as well.
Yeah, you've got to enjoy it sort of daily, isn't it? Like, it is one of those things. Like, you have to enjoy pretty much what you do, isn't it? Like, with laptop sort of lifestyle and how things are, you have to sort of enjoy it on a daily basis. Like, you've got to be in love with the daily. It is the grind at the end of the day. It could be 24/7, 365 for the first sort of year. It is hard. Like, again, Rome wasn't built in a day. Again, those online businesses and things, they weren't built in a day. It takes time, takes dedication, take what you described, the motivation piece. It's very important. You have to be motivated that every single day, without fail, you're going to achieve what you set yourself. Going back again to that schedule, that's really important. You have to have the schedule. You have to. It's all about the love. Are you willing to take the time and do it on day to day to finally say one day, I've achieved it, I've delivered it, and I'm loving it, kind of thing? Because at the end of the day, is you have to love it. We've tried. We'll bring this up from the previous podcast. We did have different sort of ideas where we're going to go with all this online sort of business, and we thought we're going to love something else, but that didn't work out. So we now both are loving this, and it's a daily grind. We schedule, we talk to each other, we set up meetings, we talk about what we need to do, what we've achieved, yada, yada, yada. It goes on. You have to be in love with it. Without the love for it, there's nothing. You can just do it to do it, but you're not going to achieve anything out of it, are you?
Yeah, definitely. I think you put that perfectly, to be fair. That's good. So, in summary, guys, it's that take these points, these 15 points, and like work through them, break them down, see what works for you. Some of them will really stick with you through your journey, and will help you to be better at the end of the day and get to where you want to get to as an entrepreneur or business owner, or whatever your dream or vision is. So yeah. Anything to add, Dave?
For me, the only thing that... Oh, yes. So one thing I was going to add is to what obviously you sort of brought up on. It is hard graft. I will say this. It takes obviously dedication, motivation, but I'm hoping with what we sort of broken down into pieces that you guys are going to sort of understand it a little bit more, because this is what it's all about. Us sort of breaking down the pieces of online business, how to and what to do. So with this, obviously, today's podcast, I hope we've helped you sort of understand it a little bit more, and sort of, maybe put some light into the questions that you might have had, because, we've done a little bit of research, and there isn't actually specific things on the internet about it. And we sort of just give you the sort of the ABCs of how we've done it and what we felt at the time in the process of doing it. But yeah, nonetheless, obviously, thank you guys for listening and watching to us. We're going to add the link down below, obviously, to our affiliate challenge, obviously /15-day challenge that we have got. It's really good. Like I said before, you invest a little bit of money and you are going to get a lot out of it. As long as you're willing to put the time in, listen, and obviously go step by step, you are going to obviously succeed with that. That's how it is. It's putting the time and the effort. But yeah, what we're going to do, we're going to put the link down below, guys. So stay tuned for more interesting podcasts coming up. It was a pleasure. So goodbye, guys. Have a good one. Thank you, and see you next time.